Welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 525, recording live on Wednesday, September 27th. I'm one of your hosts, Bo.
I'm Adriel.
I'm Kyle.
And I am Random Dave. Hello, everyone.
That was silky smooth.
Right? It's almost like when Kelly's here, it doesn't go well. She's not a
You think she's the problem?
I think she might be the problem. Just throwing that out here, and she's not here to defend herself. So realistically, it's perfect.
Excellent.
She's just driving between Toronto suburbs.
Screaming at her phone right now.
Better than screaming at the clouds, I guess. But
or the drivers on the 402.
Yeah.
40 something.
Yeah. I'm just throwing random numbers out there. I don't know.
You probably, if you just keep guessing, you will hit a highway in Ontario soon enough. So
Highway 404, not found.
404 goes up to Newmarket.
Nowhere. Goes to nowhere.
Goes to nowhere.
It's an error.
Highway not found. Yes.
Let's move on to what we did with guns, because I'm sure people don't want to hear us talking about numbered highways. So, Dave, what did you do this week with guns?
I did a bunch of stuff. So I did a maple seed on Saturday. I shot with Mr. Bolivar. Kelly was running the place along with Greg and Kyle. I want to say Kyle. Hadn't met him before. Shot with Brian Bolivar, who managed to get himself the Elite Rifleman patch. So well done, Brian. Nice shooting. And despite getting a nasty burn on my arm from Brian's brass, and I was shooting a centerfire Tavor, I got 214 in qualified rifleman.
Well, that's pretty good for a Tavor.
Yeah.
I was happy. I eventually gave up on slinging because with your sling point 6 inches in front of your face, it does nothing other than get in your way and hurt my back. But so you cannot sling up a Tavor for some positions. You can do shooting or you can do standing. I finally just 2-point slinged it and use the sling for standing, but any other position, nope. And mag changes are balls. They are terrible.
Yeah, we
prone,
knew that
terrible. Yeah, terrible. So for the MT, I was being a good sport, so I tried to sling up as best I could. But for the MQTs, I just said screw it, ran a 2-point sling and shot off the mag. And I can shoot better. I can shoot better.
You shot supported?
I shot off the mag. Shut up.
My right hand in your patch.
Five times heavier than anyone else's. Yeah.
Shooting with a Tavor is pretty challenging. That's not a rifle that is conducive to maximum offhand accuracy. It's made to be like thrown in the side of a truck or a tank or something like that. It's not made to be shot with precision from your belly.
No, it's a combat rifle, right? It's meant to be shot. Well, it's an Israeli rifle, so frankly, it's one minute of Palestinian most likely. It's not a precision rifle, so it shoots pretty good at 25 yards. I mean, I can 3 bullets more or less touching if I've got a lot of time on my hands. 100 yards with 55 grain, I'm shooting like 2 to 3 inches. It's not an AR-15. Yeah, it's good enough for what it's designed for, and it's a fun little gun, and it's super handy. And I just brought it to Maple Seed just to be silly, essentially, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. Plus, I made an awful lot of noise. Everybody else was using 22s, so that was fun, and I qualified, so that was good. Did ORA intro day on Sunday. We had 21 shooters come out, 21 intro day people, including a bunch of people who'd never shot guns before, which was awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and we were shooting playing cards at 300 yards. So we provide the rifles. They're all dialed in. We just have to give them some basic instruction. It's all one-on-one instruction. A lot of the people that came out just wanted to shoot 300, so they all already had guns. They knew what they were doing, so they didn't require much instruction at all. But seeing new shooters who've never shot, just the smile on their face when they realize they're putting bullet holes in a playing card at 300 yards is really, really good stuff. It's awesome. Cleaning up the ORA rifleman image. The ORA, a couple years ago, redid all their branding, and they got themselves a cool new Illustrator logo, which is very sharp, looks great. And the 1918 War of 1812 rifleman in the middle is scanned from an image that was probably drawn in like the 60s or something. So it's this super sharp lettering and this horribly boxy and pixelated rifleman. So I'm working on cleaning that up for us and converting it into Illustrator. Packing up for moose hunting, and that's it.
You got to pass it on to the next person.
I know. I'm looking at the stupid thing. How about you, Mo? What'd you do?
Am I the stupid thing, Dave?
Yes. I wasn't going to say it, but, you know.
I mean, you're not wrong, but still, it's not so polite. But anyways, I went to an IPSC match this weekend at the Mascot Club in Saint Dominic, Quebec. It was the last outdoor match for the year. It turned out to be a really nice day, and it was 7 stages and a lot of fun. It's one of the places where we can't move forward, but they make the stage just challenging enough that they were fun. And for me personally, I finished again middle of the pack, but so out of the 7 stages, I would say 3 were good to very good, 2 were okay, and then 2 were terrible. So the terrible ones are the ones that brought me down. So just to give you an example, I finished out of 23 shooters in production, I finished 12th. So one stage I finished 5th, one stage I finished 6th, another stage I finished 7th, 2 stages I finished 10th, and then I had a 19 and a 21. So those kind of derailed me. One of the ones I did poor, I'll get the poor ones out of the way. One of the ones I did poorly on was an unloaded start with where we could, it was just shooting from a box, but it was where we had to shoot one side of the array freestyle and the other side strong hand only. So that part was cool, except for the part that I forgot about, that it was three rounds per target. So after I shot 2 rounds per target, the RO looks at me and he's like, and he smiled and he's like, it was 3 shots, right? I'm like, and I just put my head down.
Oh, man.
And it's just the worst feeling.
Now I do.
But every shot you took was an alpha, though, right?
Close to it. But
Close to it.
close to it.
Close enough.
Yeah, so that obviously, that's the one I think I finished 21st for obvious reasons with all the mics. And then another one where to one side there was a stomp plate that activated two moving targets that disappeared quickly. So you had to be on and ready. And it was also an unloaded start, but I made the mistake of getting over to that side and drawing my unloaded start. So I'm getting to that side, unloading my gun to load it, and I stepped on the plate too quickly, so I wasn't fully ready to shoot.
Oh no!
So the first target disappears, and of course that freaks me out, but it throws me off, right? Because there it goes by, and then I'm like trying to shoot the next one, and then that one just went poorly. So I think that's the one I finished 19th. Then we had another one where it was another simple-ish stage where it was again from a box, and it was a mini IPSC that had a no shoot covering pretty much everything but the top zone. So let's say less than a quarter showing, and we had to draw and put 9 rounds into that partial area. I think I did 7 alpha. My time was pretty good too. I think I did 7 alphas, 2 Charlies, and one no shoot. And at the time I thought, that sucks that I got the no shoot. But then I saw some other really good shooters put more than one on there. So I was like, okay, I did pretty good. And I did well. that one. Then there was another stage where there were like tons of poppers, and I did pretty well on there. So that was the match, and it's just again about consistency, where I feel like I know I can get to the top 5, stage here and a stage there, but just not do it for a full match. And usually it's my own undoing. So
Yeah, you'll get there eventually. Are you noticing like that you're improving a little bit every match, making a few less errors, or?
Yeah, a few less errors, and definitely my grip is a lot better than it ever used to be. So that's something that I worked on. So now it's just about staying positive, and because I do tend to get down on myself, and then when I do, I take it to the next stage. So that's something I have worked on, where I do shake it off, and just okay, I'm gonna do better on. And I am trying to reduce the mics because was trying to shoot too fast on the second shot, so I gotten better on that. And yeah, that's it. So I don't think I have another IPSC match for another till November. So when the indoor season starts, so that's kind of a bummer. But hopefully I'll get out to a rimfire match in the meantime. So how about you, Kyle?
Well, the comp for my PCC came in and got it installed, and it looks good.
That is sexy AF.
I can't wait to get out and shoot it. I'm gonna take it out, head out to the range early tomorrow night, and because we got a range meeting tomorrow night, so I'm gonna take it out, sight in. I only have it laser sighted right now at about 14-15 yards, so sight it in, and then tune, because you got 4 screws up top here that I can pull out or put in to keep that muzzle rate down. And
cool.
This is something that in my mind I would expect to see for like 223.
I don't think it has enough ports on it.
No, I don't think so. No.
Five aside.
So
when you,
for the audio listeners, what is that? 5? This thing
it is a 5 gil brake. Yeah.
Oh, it's
5.
Huge.
Yeah, 5 gil brake with 4 adjustment ports up top, and yeah, for 9 mil.
looks like something off a Barrette.
So I am
massive.
Yeah, looking forward to trying that out, and I will be shooting it this weekend too. But the weekend we ended up going for a hike, and I wanted to open carry because we were in the wilderness, and thought the best pistol for me, because I wasn't gonna go subcompact if I'm open carrying, and I figured, okay, well, I'll take my 226. Well, I have a holster, but I didn't want to use drop hanger, like Gico drop hanger, so went to the gun stop and actually picked up this kit. It came with an outside of the waistband and inside the waistband holster,
cool.
and
2-pack.
it says it will hold over 150 models. So it is a universal holster. It's not Kydex. It's a really thin, like plastic, and I mean, it's actually surprisingly comfortable. And so I pulled out a few handguns just to show, like 226 fits nice and snug in there, and it was pretty comfortable for 2.5 miles of hiking. And then we got the Glock 17. It's in there just beautiful. And the Zev would, if the Glock fits, the Zev will.
Generally think as soon as I hear one size fits all, that's code word for one size fits nothing.
Yeah, usually, but now there's a real test. Glock 48. It's a little looser, for sure. But especially once you get a belt on there, it would actually retain that. Not half bad. The Taurus would fit, except for the optic. The optic hits. But I have a feeling the Taurus would actually fit in there as well. So
you could probably just notch it out.
I was going to say, get a Dremel out and away you go.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, Dave, universal usually means crap for everything, but I'm actually pretty surprised by it, and not bad.
That's pretty slick.
And then we're putting on a match here this weekend. It's our 5th Saturday of the month, so usually that's like a Steel Challenge or some special match. and so we're doing a first responder match. And yeah, actually, there's a really good match for first responders because I think there's a gun for the top first responder, or top 3 first responders are getting guns. And that's our meeting tomorrow night. I'll be shooting that on Saturday, and I'll be shooting both limited and PCC for that.
Is that to see like how quickly and humanely an EMT can dispatch a victim? That's just not going to make it.
It's an important skill.
Yeah.
They're a first responder. We need them
Yep.
to be like on their game. They need to draw fire.
We got fire department. From the sounds of it, we got fire department coming out, and sheriffs, maybe some city PD.
Nice.
It should be a good turnout. They posted the stages, and there is going to be a lot more movement in stage planning than our normal monthly match. So I am definitely excited for that, because I do like stage planning and having to come up with a good plan, and I do like movement and figuring out the smoothest way to get through a stage. So yeah. Other than that is it for me. Well, I'm waiting for a trigger. I've got to shoot this match without new trigger because my Timney has not arrived yet. But working on some stuff with them that hopefully I can share soon. And yeah. Anyways, Adriel, what did you get up to?
A couple things. My credit card's on fire right now. I've just been buying all sorts of good stuff. There's been so many good deals. Like, you guys know some of the deals, and it's a good deal. I can't stop myself. So last weekend I did the Kananaskis doubleheader. So I drove down along with Tom, one of the other Maple Seed shoot bosses. We drove down to kind of like Banff area, the mountains between Alberta and BC. Did a couple of Maple Seeds there. Went great. Weather was fantastic, and it was super smooth. Those guys are super accommodating, and it was a great event. I have Chaz this weekend. That one's also, all of these are all completely sold out. Oh, Chaz one this weekend sold out, and that's it for the season. So a 4-weekend stint of Maple Seeds, and then I'm done, and then I'm on to everything else, which is another 3 weekends of other stuff that's going to be gun related. So I think that I did this last year too, though. Last year, I'm pretty sure I had like a stint of maybe 3 or 4 months where every weekend was on the range, and it's going to be similar this year. I have been chopping 300 blackout cases. I got that baby's first chop saw that I showed you guys last week, and it works so good. I've just been chopping so many cases down, and they are flat. They're flat, so it's been working. I'm using it. I've got a trimmer coming as well, so that I'll use the chop saw to trim, say like 5 thou off or something, and I'll use the proper trimmer to get myself like a nice square mouth to it, or at least see if I even need it. I might not. Like I have a pilot trimmer.
5,000 rounds. Wow.
No. I'm just gonna run a straight pull, so I'm probably just gonna make 100, and that's probably gonna be tons for a while. One of my kids has been enjoying the 3D printer class at school, so I bought one of those. So it should be here tomorrow. I'm gonna say like for the kids, Creality, their newest one. They have a new one. They replaced they released like 2 weeks ago, or recently here, anyways. Ender 3 S3.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see what I get up to with that. Print some cool stuff. One of the people was recommending like, oh, what about like a die holder? I'm like, yeah, I've got some die. Like I got some 4 dies where it's like, oh, I don't have the right case for it. It'd be cool to like make a case for each one and maybe like emboss in like the cartridge that it is and that kind of thing. That would be slick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe some of that stuff. That'll be here tomorrow. And then Tenda had a deal. I don't know if they still have it. They're probably sold out. $600 per 1,000 rounds of 223 American Eagle. I bought that. $600. Hell yeah. So bought that. And then Rangeview Sports. I'm going to show this for the gun stuff today, but they have a killer deal right now on MRX mags. $20 for MRX mags. So I got some of those, and then someone's like, "Oh, they also have deals on pistol mags," and I would have seen that first. I would have added those in there too, because they also have a very killer deal on some pistol mags. And then a buddy of mine dropped off this for review. This is a Type 81 SR. This is the Dragunov looking one. So, in comparison to, I had the LMG one, and I tried the regular one with the grenade launcher thing on the end and all that kind of stuff. This is like more of a lightweight Dragunov style one. It doesn't look it. What's that?
But no optic.
Not well. I just ordered actually. Like while you were talking about what you did in guns, I ordered the stuff I need to remedy that situation. This one comes with these like side pins on it that are threaded, and the idea there is you put a side plate on there, and then you put like an AK style mount, side mount on there. So I ordered the finest Chinesium one off of Amazon, which should be fantastic. This is actually kind of a cool rifle. They come with like a strap-on cheek rest on it. So if you want to go to a scope, you put the little cheek rest on. I got it over here. It's like a wood with a metal buckle on it. It's kind of a wild setup. But that just kind of gets popped on right about there, and then you can run a scope. Without that though, the cheek rest is that's pretty good for the iron sights, which are stupid because they're Type 81 sights, and if you've ever shot them, like the rear sight's like real wonky on it, but
it's like 2 feet in front of your face. So.
Well, and it not that it's a T, and then it's covered on the top.
Oh,
yeah. Tell you what, if you're interested, go to the Hunting Gear Guy Facebook page. I've got a photo of the rear sight, and you can see like how weird it looks on there. This thing comes with like 5-round, these tiny little short mags. Because I think it's trying to look like a Dragunov, right? Keep in mind it's 7.62 by 39. It's not by 54. But the rest of it looks quite good. It looks quite good. One thing I don't like, the length of pull on this thing is so short. Oh my god, it's short. Like normally that should hit my bicep, right? And it's got another like inch or two to go there. So
you're also not some little Chinese dude.
Well, I don't think they use this in combat. I think this is just like something to approximate the look of a. This says 13.5 for length of pull. So that should be fine. It just feels really tiny.
Oh, that is a weird sight. What the hell is that? It's like
Boba
Fett's faceplate.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. So this is the optics ready one. So I ordered the side mounting plate that screws on there, and then the mounts you could just put on. And again, I ordered the cheapest one off Amazon. It was $29. So we'll see how that does. I haven't shot the gun. Actually, I don't even think it has been shot. No, this gun has not been shot. So I'll be shooting it and cleaning it very well so that my buddy keeps letting me borrow his guns.
Make sure you put the Cosmoline back on.
Yeah, slather that on.
No. Oh, that's one cool thing that this one has. This one has a trigger over travel stop on it.
Oh,
that's cool.
So take a look at that trigger. You can see that little over travel there. So you pull and there it is.
Basic and works.
Neat.
I wonder what the trigger pull is on this thing. Do you think it's better than the BCL Siberian?
I think anything's better than the BCL Siberian.
I bet you it works more.
Let's find out. I don't think I'm going to have the parts breakage issues actually I didn't have any parts breakage, but I did have a lot of jams. Let's see what we've got. That's still going to be pretty heavy though. It's less. It's not good.
How many pounds?
7.5.
So it's like
awful.
2 pounds lighter than the Siberian?
Yeah. It's quite creepy though too. Yeah, but with that over travel stop in there, that's quite nice because you don't get any travel past there. Why is it set for 7? That's too far. Anywho, just wanted to show that. And I think that's all my stuff. I got some other stuff in the works that's going to be like on the way. I was mentioning just before the show, like sometimes I get like a gun for review, and I might have like one for half a year, and then sometimes like a flood of them comes in, and I've got a flood of them coming in, but I don't want to talk about them until I've got them in hand and you guys can all see them. So,
All right.
that's about it for me.
Thank you. In upcoming events, we have a Chaz Ladies Day on October 14th. BTSA IPSC Rifle and PCC match on October 21st. IPSC Ontario Shotgun Provincials is coming up this weekend. So it's September 29th to October 1st. It's in Waterloo, 14 stages, and registration is on the IPSC Ontario site. Dave, you want to mention the ORA events again?
Yeah, there's a practical precision match on this weekend on Saturday. You can find it on the OntarioRifleAssociation.ca/events calendar, which is a PRS type match. I think they shoot out to about 450 meters, 450 yards, and it's all steel, so it's pretty awesome. It's over at Base Borden. And then October, there is a... Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. We got time on that one.
Okay.
So PPS this weekend. Go shoot it.
All right. In the news, federal judge overturns California ban on high-capacity gun magazines.
Regular capacity gun mags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! Take that, California. Tomorrow the streets will run red with blood, and the children and
the usual.
the horror. Good.
Yeah, they're trying more sweeping gun legislation in California too, and immediately taken to court. Although surprisingly, California was not as bold as New Mexico.
Oh, what did New Mexico do?
Leon Grisham, it's been stayed, but banned basically possessing a firearm in Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, but the courts did put a stay on that, and actually Monday next week, all the court cases are being heard at once.
That was the one that they had a lot of gang shootings, so then they said they had to not allow licensed people to carry guns?
Yes.
Yes, I see, because science. Yes, that makes sense. California also today introduced a new tax on guns and ammunition. Was it 20% to pay for school security?
Wow.
Right? Like,
Genius.
because
It
science.
started with California.
And then that's that.
It's true. It's like Florida, California man passes gun law.
Who put in the story about
LOL Nazis.
LOL Nazis. I
really want to talk about
that. I do want to talk about it. Not
Go
because
ahead,
it's
Dave.
gun related, but just
fill
because
your saddle or boot.
it is the most embarrassing and the most amazing thing to ever come out of the House of Parliament of Canada. So for those of you who maybe haven't heard, which was several people at work this morning when I walked around the office laughing for an hour, Anthony Rota, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, was over for a little show to, I don't know,
Ask for money.
ask for money and distract from
Away.
Trudeau's issues,
Rounds.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And rah Ukraine, the usual stuff. And they invited a Ukrainian Canadian gentleman from who served in World War II to come, and Anthony Rota
He fought against the
realized
Russians. He fought the
he
Russians.
fought the Russians. So
Mhm.
Russians bad, Ukrainians good. And I think maybe the person that wrote the little intro was maybe like a 20-year-old intern who had never heard of World War II, or like very vaguely knew something about it, but knew that the Russians were bad. So Anthony Rota is reading the intro for this gentleman and mentions he's a Canadian hero, he's a Ukrainian hero, and he fought against Russian aggression in World War II. And that was the moment when Anthony paused for a second and his eyebrows went up, and I think something in his head went, oh, shit. and then thanked him for his service with the Waffen SS. For those of you not familiar with the Waffen SS, they were the ones that did most of the bad things in World War II and were quite well known for doing the bad things. And the particular unit he served with did a lot of bad stuff to a lot of people, including the Polish. So the Polish are unimpressed. The Jews are unimpressed. Everyone is unimpressed. And everyone in Parliament stood up and clapped. And then the Russians immediately ran that as propaganda. And that is apparently the number one news headline in Russia today. Canadian Parliament plus Zelensky gives standing ovation to Nazi soldier from World War II.
Oh,
That's not propaganda. That's what really happened.
Yeah.
It is, actually. It's just they didn't know it at the time. So Anthony has since resigned, but that took a long time. And then Trudeau apologized, but I mean, that's like 3 days after we found out. Or 4
Yeah, and
days.
him
So.
apologizing doesn't mean anything.
No, exactly. But I honestly don't know how you recover from this. I mean, the House of the Speaker said, please raise your right hand and welcome a war hero. And, what the hell? Like,
Whoa,
literally, how
not
do you
so high.
recover?
What are you guys doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not how you're supposed to raise your hand.
Yeah, clip your boot heels
Maybe it
together and
is.
get those right hands in the air.
oh boy.
I just love it because you couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
I keep expecting John Cleese to just
Yeah.
come in from the side winds and go, I've just been having you guys on or something. Like, this is like we handed over Parliament to the Beaverton to write and just no one's noticed yet.
Comedy of errors.
I literally couldn't write this stuff if I sat down and actually put effort into it. It is the
I
most
thought the
ridiculous
truckers were the
stuff ever.
Nazis.
Right?
Truckers the Nazis?
Right.
I mean, this
And
guy
yet
didn't
you-
look like a trucker.
You call other people Nazis, and yet there's one sitting right in front of you and you can't spot him. So
They're
maybe
hanging
you're-
out with people who are Nazis. I
Right.
think
Maybe
that's
you're
what he
just
said about the truckers. Yeah,
maybe you're bad at spotting Nazis.
Nazi adjacent.
Just throwing that out. Nazi adjacent.
Oh
Nice.
boy.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because it is the most ridiculous thing, and I have no idea how you come back from this. Like, if I did something like that at work, I would probably do the honorable thing and take myself out because I don't know what else you do about that. Like, how do you...
You're gonna get us demonetized on not
Oh,
demonetized
I was
anyways.
going to
Dave.
say we're already
But,
demonetized.
All right. I think we're good, Dave. Thank you.
Anyway, as you were, enjoy the clown show.
And then we have one more news story. So the CSSA put out a bulletin that the Port Colborne City Council wants to add more restrictions to trap and skeet shooting at the Port Colborne and District Conservation Club, which has existed on this property for over 60 years. I don't know much about this. Anybody else?
I think they were trying to protest it. It was a protest, or at least voicing opinions last night.
Okay.
So
Hopefully it went well.
yeah, they asked people to show up to that. That's if you're not familiar, that's like right next to Niagara Falls, super close to like the US Canadian border.
Okay.
I'm just taking a look at Google Maps. It's a fairly recent imagery from 2023, and I didn't even see any subdivisions around the place. Who's complaining? Bill's backhoe service? They're probably not complaining.
No.
or they're planning on developing there and they're trying to stop it soon.
Push them out.
Someone bought it for the cheap, and now they want to like get the gun club out of there, so that cheap land turns into expensive land.
And they can enjoy their country peace because that's what they were sold when they moved out of the city, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is nothing around that place. It is nowhere comma middle of. So that's weird.
Nazi free.
It's probably some like the rest of Canada, oddly enough, other than the Parliament buildings.
All right, then. New gun stuff brought to you by Bullseye North. Need a new boomstick? Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR with a wide selection of guns and top trending gear for any shooter. Free shipping over $200. Some exclusions apply, like ammo. Subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get first access to the hottest deals.
Well, they got a hot deal now, or like a hot thing that they're doing now.
Tell us.
Free shipping on ammo as long as
Excellent.
it's over $250, which
Excellent.
will cover you on all of your like big 1,000 round packs, which
Yep.
I like. because
Me too.
one thing I like about some of Bullseye's competitors is free shipping on on things over $250. And now that they have it, I'm gonna want to buy from them more often because they have good deals on lots of stuff. It's just, how much is shipping going to be? Those mags I bought earlier, I had to buy a whole crap load of them to make it even worth the free shipping. I didn't even really want to do it, but yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah. So they've got free shipping on orders over $250. Some exceptions. So if you live in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to get the free shipping. So tough luck. But you should already be used to that since you chose to live in the middle of nowhere.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Get less services because you're in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, other things. You know what I should do? I should share my screen so you guys can see like this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there have been some reasonable deals on 22 recently. I would say that you can get 22 at less than 10 cents a round at like 9 or 8. And you can get good stuff for that. So don't buy crap at that price. So when I say crap, Federal Blue Box, I consider that stuff crap compared to Blazer. Blazer is more accurate than Federal Blue Box. I have tested, oh boy, how many groups did I shoot? 8 5-round groups of both of this stuff, and Blazer's better. So buy Blazer. Cabela's has it on for $40 for a 425 round pour pack right now. I would buy that before I bought the. The nice thing about the Federal though is that it's copper plated, so you don't get like lead buildup on your fingertips if you take it out and shoot some gophers and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it does run good in some guns, but I find the Blazer runs better in more guns. The big deal that Cabela's has right now, they have the BX triggers on for $99. Well, $100. They have the BX triggers for $100.
I am putting my credit card into Cabela's as we speak.
You used the show link, right?
I did use the show link. Yes.
All right.
Oh, I used it a while ago, and I don't think it showed up on our thing because
So, for listeners, that BX trigger is a fantastic price and a great trigger for your 1022.
Yeah.
If you're looking to upgrade it, that's the most value price best way of doing it. Use the link on Slamfire Radio.
Because if you jump up to a kid, we're talking what,
250, 300.
Yeah, more. I think it's 4 or 450 now.
Okay,
it's a lot of money, and it's like what the gun is worth. So the BX to me is an excellent upgrade, and I use mine for hunting anyway, so I don't want a real fidgety trigger.
Yeah.
In my little Gucci gray birch. So we'll see how this runs.
I've tested the other ones. Like I've tested the Volkortsen's got a hammer and sear combo that you can put in. That's also a pretty good deal. And then I tested another one. I think it was by Tandem Cross, and that one was pretty good as well, but expensive. This one's like great middle of the road, and it's a whole trigger pack. You don't just swap it in, Dave. When you get yours, you're gonna take that bolt release out, and you're gonna give it a little kiss with the Dremel, get that little spur off of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were talking about that actually. Just a slight aside. We were talking at Maple Seed on the weekend because there were so many 1022s. I hate 1022s. They're terrible guns. I mean, there's just so many garbage.
Outdated.
There's so many garbage design decisions. They have the worst bolt release ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mag release is trash. The default stock on them is garbage.
Absolutely. Why do they have a curved back? It's not a machine gun.
And why is the tone so low?
In their stock form, I would say the similar thing to like a Remington 700. Off the shelf, they're not great, but there's so many parts available for them, and you can just build that into something actually pretty good.
And that's the thing, right? You can tweak them. You can do amazing stuff with them. You can really make them into a cool gun. But honestly, out of the box, they're trash. Just not.
They're not worth the money. They're not worth the $300-$400 that you pay for them out of the box. But like, what is it these days? Like, if you get the A20, the Savage A22 is okay, but that stupid firing pin retaining pin fails on it all the time, and then they start failing. Like, I've seen that multiple times. What else are you looking at? A bolt action. You can get yourself like a CZ 455 or 457. Those are better, obviously. Or you go custom. and you spend $1,000 on a Ruger 1022 that is badass, but has no Ruger parts in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1,000, you got badass 1022.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not the Ruger though. It's 1022 adjacent.
yeah.
Over there with the
Moving
Nazis.
Rangeview Sports. Okay, the MRX mags, they come for $20 right now. If you're in their area, just go buy some like in person. Like, geez, that's cheap. If you've got the Chiappa M122, they got those for $14. High point 9mm mags, $30. I'd buy those, but I'm gonna hack my high point up to use some other mags. CZ Scorpion Evo, $15. Not that that matters, because I don't think you can have these in Canada.
Say that's super handy. It'll look great and you're safe.
Yeah, they're prohibited. How do I get to the pistol magazine sale that they have? Oh, there it is, right there, right on the top. Yeah, this is really good. The CZ Shadow Cadet magazine, 1760. That's hot. Mechar mags for the CZ Shadow 2 or whatever, $35. 1911 mags, they're right around like 20 get some down below here. Cheap anyways. If you want extended like 10 round 1911 mag, Pro Mag, $23. Terra TM9 magazine, I'm sorry, but $28. Mechar 1911 officers mag, $15. Like these are some really good prices. 1911 45 ACP magazine, 8 rounds, $18. That's a Mechar mag. That's a good magazine.
Yeah.
They got some good stuff. Anyways, that's at Rangeview Sports. I'm not sure how long that sale's going for, but that is really good. Canada, I wanted to show this because like these aren't guns I normally look at, but they look cool. So Canada's Gun Store has the Benelli M4T Pro. It's in brown, it has a collapsible stock, pistol grip, and a forend on it that is real funky looking.
Can you enlarge that? That almost looks like a Briley.
That is
large, exactly what that is. That's the Briley handguard.
Oh, okay.
Pretty badass.
Tube on it. Yep. Those are $32.50. Not the price range of shotguns I typically buy, but they look cool anyway, so I wanted to show it. And then they've got just a couple of other ones. Big rails on the top.
A Benelli M4 with a classic stock. Nice.
Oh yeah, with a standard stock.
That classic stock is $400 if you want to buy that to put on your M4.
Damn.
But why would you?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I should preface. It was $400 5 years ago.
Oh, so now it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you'd want to put a classic stock on the M4. I guess if you just like that stock
shooting 3-gun, the pistol grip shotguns, unless it's a detachable mag, you're much better off with the classic stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, to tuck it underneath your arm. It's better.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, for loading and carrying around.
Nordic Marksman has their Oktoberfest sale on right now. 10% store wide, free shipping on orders over $750. Yeah, it's good. Tesro has a bunch of Eamon Tech pistol parts. These pistol parts are for CZ, Glock, SIG, and 1911. They're things like recoil springs. They've got the slide stop for the CZ Shadow 2. It's a solid one. I wonder if that means it doesn't break. They've got red dot mounts for the CZ. They've got trigger spring tools for some of the trickier things on the CZ. And then they've got like spring upgrades and that kind of thing. So, oh, look at that. Slide stop with thumb rest for CZ75. Oh, it's like a gas pedal on the side there. Interesting.
Nice. Cool. I wonder if that would fit my Shadow. Huh.
I believe it would be. Yeah, competition spring kits for CZ, $37.99. That's a pretty good price for all those springs. Anyways, they got that at Tesro. Northern Leet has a sale on Gersan MC312. So if you want the internet to accuse you of running the wrong kind of ammo and not following the break-in procedure that doesn't exist in the manual,
as we all do.
Just had to throw that in there. Okay, if you're looking at hunting ducks or geese, they've got the camo version for $4.99. They got the black
Ooh.
version for $4.49. These are really good
Nice.
prices. I think I paid $500. I think $4.99 or something like that for mine. These are really good prices. It's an inertial system, so it's not gas, it's inertia. So it's gonna run clean, not gonna need to be cleaned that often. And yeah.
Nice.
If you're looking for a 3-gun shotgun, $450 is absolutely the lowest you're gonna get for a reliable semi-automatic shotgun.
Now, who did they rip off to make those?
Benelli. Benelli's
They are Benelli's.
The Benelli
M2
patent expired fairly recently here, and that's why we've been seeing all these inertial shotguns coming out. Inertial is a better system.
Yeah, I had one of those. Somebody had one of those out at the range last week, and they were shooting it, and they put a ridiculous amount of ammo through it, like zero problems. Super fast too, like super fast. Oh my god, you could clear the mag on that thing zippy, and it was good. It shot real good. He was quite happy with it.
Yeah, some of the gas ones would be faster, like a Beretta 1500, 1301. Beretta 1301 will be faster, but these you never need to clean these. That Beretta 1301, you will need to clean the gas.
Your pistons and everything.
The gas piston has some small holes in it that would get clogged up, and you need to clean it after 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rounds or so. This not so much.
And with the 1301, you can't get as nice or sloped of a load port as you can with something like an M2 and that. Just something with that receiver, but it is an amazingly fast shotgun.
Yeah, the Beretta is. Yeah. Someone else put this in. Kinetic.
Yeah, I put this in. I saw this on just a quick reel. They are QD M-Lock rail mounts. So they just pinch the ends, and you now have a QD pick rail for your M-Lock. Like it's not just your standard QD. Like the rail is QD.
Oh, so it goes on and off quickly. How does it do that?
It's got two buttons, one on either end, and it wedges itself onto the M-Lock slot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
I hate M-Lock. It's such a pain in the ass. That's cool.
I wonder how. I wonder how much abuse it
are.
stands up to. Like back and forth abuse, because if it's spring loaded on the sides there, I wonder how much it takes before it. Oh, probably not. Interesting.
It seemed really solid. But yeah, because
cool
I saw.
I kind of agree with Dave. Like I don't really like putting I guess Keymon is just as bad, but like putting the accessories on, you often like you put it in the slot, you turn it turns the nut, and it doesn't fucking engage, and this looks better. Yeah.
No, that's a very cool idea. Neat.
Yeah. Stinger has a new box. CCI Stinger has a new box, and it's because it's for the 40th anniversary. It's classier though.
It's a good looking box.
It's a nice looking box.
That's what she said. Okay.
Yeah.
And for tonight's main topic, I'd like to welcome father-daughter shooting team, Ava and Gabriel Jones. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, guys.
I'll start off with Gabriel. I know you have a similar shooting experience to me where you picked up guns and shooting late in life. So tell us about it.
Yeah, well, around when I was like 29, I would say, I decided I wanted to take my hunting course and did that. My wife found that really hard, and finally I really jumped into it. And the first like 10 years were more like deer hunting and waterfowl, but in 2020 I started to shoot rimfire and rimfire competition. And now this is my main hobby related to guns. So, yeah.
And by main hobby, you mean you go somewhere almost every weekend now?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
when the schedule permits it, yeah.
And Ava, when did your dad first take you to the range? The first time you would have shot a gun?
I think I maybe be 12.
12, okay. And what did you think? Did you think it was like cool and fun, or was it kind of freaky?
Well, it was cool, but didn't really thought that I was gonna go this far with it.
Okay. Okay. And you guys actually shoot matches together, which I've shot with you. And so when's the first time would you brought her to an actual match to participate?
So our first match must have been a CRPS match in Stittsville, for sure. She shot a couple the first year. I think she also shot the infamous match that was -40 that like Matt did a video on it that lasted 5 minutes because everything died and the tablets and weren't working, so we had to pick everything by hand. But yeah, she won that in production, in youth actually, and half the people didn't go through the safety briefing because it was so cold. But yeah, that was 2 years ago, I guess.
And after shooting in -40, you actually wanted to go back, Ava?
Well, maybe. Well, I guess so because I'm still here, but
Yeah. And what did you think of your first match? Were you nervous? Were you like excited to be shooting with your dad?
I'm pretty sure I was nervous. But I think it went well, and I was kind of excited too because that's like in all sports, like new sport, you're excited. But yeah, I was pretty nervous though. I remember.
Yeah, awesome. And how did you feel, Dad, with her shooting the first time?
Well, it's always fun to be able to do an activity with your kids that you both like, share well, both like. And it's usually you go to like a soccer game or hockey, and you're in the stands, and they're doing something, and or the other way around. But now we're doing it together, so it's pretty cool, and Dad's pretty proud.
Nice. And you have a younger son that you've taken to matches as well, correct?
Yes, Hugo also shoots with me. He's not on tonight because his English is is not on par for podcast. So, but yeah, he does that with me too. I alternate because shooting with both of them at the same time is a lot of work, I'll say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that. So I know you take the shooting seriously and you want to do well, like as you should, but you're also trying to balance helping her or helping him when you're there. And with precision rimfire, you're working on your the dope information and getting ready for the props and all that stuff. So how do you balance it, and do you find that it gets easier over time?
Well, for sure, like when I bring a kid, it's a lot of more mental work. You're always doing something because you finish doing your part, your dope card, and you start to do theirs. So with ROing and spotting and trying to help, um, it's hard on the mental game. You don't have a lot of time to just like get the right mindset. So, but it's I mean, it's I guess it's what you have to go through to be able to shoot with your kids, and it's well worth it, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. And it has to get a little bit easier as she gets more comfortable too, right? And then
Well, yeah, so lately this year she's been starting to do her like she'll read the book, the match booklet, so she has an idea of what she needs to do. She'll load her mags and mine when I have too much stuff to do, and started to play around with the Kestrel. So at one point, I'm hoping that she's gonna do my cards and I'll just shoot, but not probably not next year.
so for Ava, what do you most enjoy about like the PRS shooting?
Well, my dad do all the work, and I just shoot. That's it. And I like that just it practice for like everything in life, just shooting. And it's a great experience, a great sport too.
Okay. And I've
And
seen your
you don't have to pay for the ammo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, working on that. But,
That's my kids turn my money into noise when we go to the range.
yeah, for sure.
nice. And for Ava, what are the things that you find yourself that you need to work on when you're shooting that you're let's say struggling with right now that you want to get better at?
Bringing my bag to the stage.
Bring in your bag to
Yeah, I like forget it a lot, but I think mostly it's just like stop moving when I try to shoot, not be like as stressed as I am right now. Take some confidence with the the stage and everything. That's mostly it.
Stay concentrated.
Yeah.
stay concentrated. Yeah.
Don't eat all the M&Ms in the trail mix. Give you a sugar rush for sure.
Nice.
I don't know what you're talking
No, okay.
about.
So this past weekend, you guys both shot at the CRPS Nationals at Avonmore. And another cool thing was that you were in a squad with another father-daughter. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, well, yeah, we shot with Mark and Peyton, and also her mother Jo was there. She wasn't shooting. Peyton is also part of Team Apex, so it was our first time meeting them. We had chat a lot on the social media, but our first match together, and yeah, it was a lot of fun because the girls were connecting for sure. Like, it's not often that they get to shoot with other girls or boys of their age, so it was nice to see. Yeah, it was yeah, a lot of fun, and like I was saying, it's really sad that they live so far away, but we'll try to repeat the experience next year for sure.
If for Ava, how is it shooting with somebody your age in a at a match?
Well, I think it's like cool because you have somebody to talk to, and it's not like it's more fun because you have somebody to speak with, and you're not alone too. Because I'm most likely alone. I don't have competition, so I if I don't have competition, I don't like work myself to do better. So that's one thing that I like, and also I make friends. So that's the most thing that's the best.
Good. And do you kind of find you're watching her when she's shooting too
Yeah.
to try to pick up maybe is she do you know if she was more experienced in terms of like how long she's been shooting?
I don't know about that. Um, just met her and speak with a little bit with her.
Okay.
I think they're about at the same skill level. They're pretty close. I don't know how long she's been shooting, but she's a good shooter, and yeah, she has potential for sure.
Great. And so how was the match overall in terms of the stages and how it ran?
It was a great event, really fun. There was the wind wasn't too bad, but it was tailwind, and it was switching on us from left to right, and it picked up a little bit, but we had a great like 2 great days, like around 20-25, and no rain. So, but it was a nice match that Travis put on for us. Yep.
And it was 20 stages over 2 days, correct?
Yeah, so we shot 12 on the first day to try to finish up a little early for those that were traveling, because for once it wasn't us, because even more is like our own match for us. It's the closest one we get. It's about 45 minutes from our place. So, yeah.
And how so for Ava, how did you feel shooting 12 stages in one day? What were you thinking like towards the end? Still have lots of energy and you're excited or
I was having a lot of energy through like the day because like Peyton and her mom was there. But if I was alone, I'm pretty sure that I will say it was kind of boring. At some time in like the day, I was like, I want to sleep. Just put the mat and go sleep through the stage.
12 round is long, even for you see adults that
Yeah, it's not most matches aren't. You're not shooting more than let's say 10 in a day, probably.
yeah, it's the so 12 is hard, like on your mental game. You get tired. The sun is getting you, and sometimes you don't eat enough, and so yeah, for 12 round is a big day of shooting for sure.
Mike, who I believe was in your squad, mentions a tire stage. So tell us about that.
Yeah, that one was it was a mind twister for sure, because so the numbers were not that it didn't have any real they weren't following each other, and you had to move and do two different sequence completely without any real sequence order, yeah. So yeah, it was a hard one, and we shot that one the last of the second day, and yeah, my mental game wasn't wasn't on par, because I mixed up the order and got off sequence, and yeah, that was a tough one for sure.
It happens. Any other particular stages that stood out, good or bad, over the 2 days?
Yeah, the two we had two find it ranged it to the stage. First day we weren't allowed to use the rangefinder. We had to use a reticle. So that one was, and you had like 1 minute to range everything and 2 minutes to shoot your 12 shots. And the second day you had another one that you were allowed to use the rangefinder, but I don't know if they did it on purpose or it just was the way it was, but the targets were so close to the grass that like everybody was struggling of getting like good numbers off the targets, and you can like really use the trick of going down the post and trying to hit the ground. So yeah, and that one was a real hard for me too. So, but one guy in our squad, well, actually Mark, he didn't have a rangefinder, so he used the reticle on the second day and he cleaned it. So
wow,
I think the next time I'll just keep the rangefinder in the bag and use the reticle.
wow, that's so cool. You mentioned Apex, so tell us about your relationship with them, for the both of you.
Yeah, well, me, Eva, and Hugo are all supported shooters for the Team Apex. We got on the team this year, and around January, I guess they were asking for family shooting, yeah, and kids. So like a lot of people and my friends were pushing me to go ahead and register for that. So I finally did, and we got some news shortly after that, and we had a good chat with them, and we're now part of Team Apex, and it's been a pleasant experience for sure. I actually got to meet them last week. Well, not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago. I went down to MKM in Pennsylvania for the PRS regional finals, and I got to meet Carly and Vanya in person for the first time. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was actually they sponsored that event, correct?
Yeah, exactly. They sponsored the Northeast region PRS season and the finals.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think they picked a great family too, but I might be a little bit biased. So.
Well, thank you very much.
So let's talk about. I know you. You're pretty competitive,
yes.
and you're doing very well. I've just the time that I've known you. I've seen how much you've improved, and so mentioning that match, but before that, you shot the the Northern Rimfire Series finale.
Yeah.
And you finished 4th, and I think it was out of 80 shooters. So obviously that was a great finish.
Yeah.
What do you take out of there? Do you feel, does it feel like a success? Do you feel like, oh, if I had made a few more shots, I would have finished top 3? Like, what's your mental state, I guess, after that?
Well, I was pumped. I was more than satisfied because this year has been overwhelming for sure. Like with the sponsor and I don't know if it's related or what, but my numbers went up. And I've been having a really good year this year, and finishing 4th in Magneto was an unexpected. I was like hoping a top 10, but finishing 4th was I was really happy with that, especially with like a lot of Team Canada guys were there coming back from Italy. A lot of other teammates from Team Apex were there, and it was like a lot of the good shooter were there, so I was happy with my result for sure.
Nice. And then the weekend after, you shot the Apex event. Yeah, Greg mentions that it must be the scope. So
yeah, that's it. Well, I was shooting their scope before I got sponsored, so
so it worked out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. After I so with that finish in Magneto one, that got me my PRS ranking got like bumped. I think in 30th place for the Northeast region. So I got invited for the regionals, and so I went down to MKM in Magneto one and the next weekend. So I was hoping to be as successful, but I had a reality check, I guess, and it was a hard match for me that weekend. Well, it wasn't a weekend; it was one day, Sunday. It was. It didn't go badly, but I felt slow. I didn't feel sharp. And I was timing out on a lot of stage, so I guess it's hard to be mentally ready at each match. That's the thing I find the hardest, and I'm working on. But it was a great experience. I don't know if you guys ever shot there. It's a field that is it's grass everywhere, and there's these backstop that are everywhere, but are all the same. So they dump like a dump truck dumped some dirt, and so you're looking for targets that has nothing in the background that can help you to locate them. So if you're not on the good target right off the bat, you're losing a lot of time trying to figure out where you are and where you need to go. And the targets were also really, really small compared to what we're used to here. I think they were talking about 1.5 MOA to 2 MOA. So you had like some 1-inch target at 100 plus, and it was hard. Talking to other guys. Was one of the hardest match they shot too. So it was a learning curve for sure, and maybe a little bit, I'll say, intimidated, impressive, because you go there and it's all the top shooters that are there. Everybody's like on top of their game and ready to go, and everything goes really quickly. And
but like you said, it's a learning experience. And then this past weekend, you did very well again, finishing 4th.
Yeah, another 4th position. Yeah. I was looking for redemption for sure. I was happy with my result this weekend, even if I kind of bombed the ranged stage. But yeah, it is trying to be like competitive at every match. Some of the guys seems to be able to do it. it's hard. I mean, the mental game is for sure one of the hardest thing to manage. And yeah, just trying to work on that and stay positive. That's one thing that I was happy with, even if it wasn't going my way in at MKM. Like I didn't get mad or I didn't get discouraged. Just keep going, and I had like 2 solid stage at the end that were kind of made me feel better a little bit. So
Yeah, so you turned it into a positive.
yeah, well, yeah, try not to. You need to keep going, and you never know how it's going to turn, because if you're having a bad day, it might be because like the match is hard and everybody here is a little bit struggling, so you need to keep going for sure.
Okay. And you had mentioned a story to me where Ava provided support. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So what I usually tell Eva when she's because we're pretty much the same level of competitor. We don't like when we underperform, and we're kind of hard on ourselves. So each time she has a bad stage, I'll go to her and like give her a hug and tell her to forget about that one, concentrate on the positive stuff, and move on to the next one, and concentrate on the points we can go get, and forget about what just happened. So we were in Vermont shooting a PRS match, and she started the stage with it was a KYL at I think it was like 260 or 250 yards, and what happened is that she did pretty good on the first stage. She did like I think she's six out of 10. So and it seems like a really straightforward like stage of it was prone, and targets seemed generous enough. So I'm shooting right after her, and we share the same dope, so I know that her dope was on, so mine should be good. So I go down and I shoot, and at the end of the stage I get 1. So she saw my face, and she knew that I needed some comforting. So she was the one that came and hugging me and telling me to forget about it and concentrate on the rest of the match. And we had 4 stages left, and so I took her advice. And finally, I had a really good finish to the match, and I managed to podium 3rd place. So
Nice.
yeah, I was getting my own medicine, so I guess so.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone else did bad except me on this stage. So
Yeah, after in the afternoon, yeah, it was a tough match for sure.
So Ava, do you see yourself like continuing in PRS, something you want to keep improving in? And
yeah, I think so. I'm trying to maybe like in 2 years go to the month, like the world.
The world, well, they're
thingy.
looking for you for the next world rifle rimfire not challenge, but competition. So well, we're looking to see if it's possible to do that, and she needs to invest more, and if she wants to go there. So yeah, it's something we're looking at for sure.
so when your dad asks you to dry fire practice in the garage, are you going?
Well, I'm going most of the time, but sometimes I'm just like, it's Friday. Don't ask me out. Don't want to go.
Champions practice on Friday, Ava.
Yeah, well, you have to practice every day if you want to go to the world.
Yeah.
For the rest of the gang, did you guys have any questions? Sorry, I've been dominating.
No, I didn't really have any questions. Just enjoying it. I mean, I've got my boys into shooting competitions as well, and it's been a lot of fun getting them out there. I get a little bit more leeway with the wife, I think, too, because to take them out when I go to the range, right? So I think I can get more shooting competitions in. But no, just been enjoyable listening to you guys. Dave, were you trying to say something? You were just muted there for a second. Oh, still muted.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're talking to yourself. Yeah, you can't hear anything.
I'm sure it was a fantastic question he wanted to ask.
I'll just have to mime it out. It'll be like, not Pictionary. What's that? Yeah.
No, I think this one was for you, Eva.
I don't know. Kyle, you have any questions or comments?
No, I just enjoyed listening. It was great.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on. It was awesome. It was great to hear about your experiences and shooting together. And I think it's a great story. And I always like seeing whenever we go to the matches, whether it's IPSC or any other matches, I love seeing like father-daughters, father-sons, mother-daughters, like shooting together. I think it's just great. And it's obviously good for very good for our community to have more families involved.
Yes, for sure. It's refreshing to see like kids and girls and shooting. For sure, it kind of remove the. It kind of, it's not like only shooting is not only for men. That's why I want to say it. It's everybody can shoot, and you can be competitive if you're a lady or a girl or a boy. Yeah, everybody can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty much a level playing field out there. So
yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you very much.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks again to Ava and Gabriel to talk to us about the CRPS match this weekend and their experience of shooting together. That was great. We don't have any emails this evening. Kyle, any YouTube?
Wait, I thought we did.
We do?
No,
Yeah,
I looked
Tony?
before the show. We didn't have any emails this week.
No, Tony sent one.
No, we read that last week.
No, 5 hours ago. I'll read it. Good evening, Slamfire crew. Sorry that you would need to review quite a few old episodes today. I got sent up to Fort Mac for work again. Sometimes it's good to be out of the house, out of the home base. Got nothing to worry about and little to do off hours. As I mentioned on Discord, I got myself a freeloader holster, the Blackhawk Omnivore. It's the non-light version. Important to mention the version, as the 3 holsters in the series are significantly different from each other. And it fits my buddy's APX very well. It's my first holster experience. With the help of my buddy and squad mates on the range, I was able to shoot a full 8-stage steel challenge with this setup without adding any holes to my foot or anyone on the range. Of course, I wasn't trying to race. Ended up with a D score, but I'm pleasantly surprised that I have a few C scores in there, and my goal of the day was just to squeeze into a C for one of the stages. Now I'm trying to find out if I can get the club 13 while loaning out all of the pistol. Side, would Slamfire be interested in having sub-hosts when the hosts are busy? Well, interested in, if you want to come on and talk about Maple Seed, I guess we could do that. Also, some additional context for last week. Attached was my winning setup at Maple Seed 1 year ago. Still got the setup, lost the skills. And his winning setup was this guy right here.
Nice.
What is that? Is that... What am I looking at here?
Looks like I would say that is a 223 or 9mm. What is that?
It looks like a 223 Ruger.
No.
Yeah.
It's a 223. It might be like a Ruger American or Hog Hunt, like something that takes AR mags.
It doesn't look like a Ruger American.
Savage Hog Hunter, maybe. Tony, you got to let us know what this is. Post it in Discord or something like that,
cool,
and we'll talk about it. Yeah. I think that was the only email we had.
Okay. Kyle, any YouTube comments?
Yes, we do. And Tony flooded our YouTube as he promised. And
Thanks,
so we'll
Tony.
start off with a bunch of comments on last week's show. In regards to Maple Seed, bringing extra rounds, not extra magazine to the line. Loading individual rounds. No, we load new magazine and mag dump on the next target. A viable strategy for activated swinger targets.
And a terrible idea because if you put too many holes in the wrong target, because we count the lowest scoring ones first at Maple Seed. We had a little bit of cross shooting at my events, and the funny thing is, like, I use a rainbow of colors for backers.
Yeah.
So for you to shoot the wrong target means that you are like so tunnel visioned into your target that you're ignoring the color of the backer completely, and you don't see it. People will be on like 4x, 6x, whatever, and all they see is that little black square, and they're just like shooting their neighbor's target.
He goes on, I really like and prefer wet tumbling with or without stainless steel media, lower noise and dust free.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, except for when you're doing mass like pistol rounds.
I just don't like dealing with the water. Like with dry tumbling, you throw them in the tumbler. I just leave it in my workshop and or wherever, and then when I'm done, I just shake it out, and
you don't have to worry about drying them off or
tarnishing. Like I used to do ultrasonic and that kind of stuff for like my rifle rounds. You have to dry the cases out. If you don't dry them off, they tarnish, and then like all your really carefully prepped brass looks like crap. And looks are like a little bit of it. Just a little bit.
It's got to be shiny. We're all rednecks. It's got to be shiny.
Yeah. Like crows.
And he goes on, that intro for Mike was weak. The one for Taylor was much better. Adriel got to step back up his game.
I tried. It was on the spot. I didn't have my thing prepped. Mm-hmm. Tony's on player. He says Mossberg MVP. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That's wild that you. So not only center fire, but a bolt action center fire, and he got rifleman with that. That's good. That's hard.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. I see a lot of people shooting a bolt action, and it holds them back, and it's. Now, the most impressive thing would be a bolt action bolt action iron sight center fire.
303 or 30-06 full power.
303 or an M1 Garand or actually an SKS.
Yeah. If you did it with an SKS.
If you shot rifle with an SKS, that would be super impressive.
Yeah.
I would
legendary
be calling BS, but
maybe I'll take one next time.
Maybe I'll do that for one of the things we do with Maple Seed is we do these. I didn't do one this year because not enough people wanted it, but we do these instructor boot camps where we get a bunch of instructors out to practice all the points of instruction. That's great because you get like everyone practices all the points of instruction in like half a day, but then the other half of the day you can shoot some MQTs and do that kind of thing. So I think it'd be really interesting to shoot some MQTs with real bad guns and see what you can still qualify with. An SKS would be really a really bad gun. An Enfield I think would be better. What's that?
Use the Type 81.
The Type 81 would be I think a better choice than an SKS even, or a 303 would be the 303 would be okay. The sight radius is really good on them.
Yeah, Bolivar shot one. I don't think he got rifleman, but he did shoot one.
He's shot an AR and qualified with it, but that's AR.
Me good. Too. Yeah. Not a big deal.
Yeah, Mike.
Mazen.
I did find with his intro.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll just get Anthony Rhoda in, and he can give Adriel some tutoring.
He's available.
On quality intros. Yeah, he's not doing much these days, I hear. So, yeah.
Tony says that I seem to have better cadence control with the bolt. Got a rhythm going. Yeah, I find that too. I find with the semi-auto, I crank on the trigger a little bit too quick, whereas with the bolt, I feel like I have to focus a little bit more to shoot and get the points. So
slows you down a bit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony goes on. Lever action. I would say buy once, cry once, get a Henry. To me, it is really just a range gun, maybe some small game. If I need a hunting gun, I would go bolt. Yeah. WKA 181 testing was promising. I would expect the same on a 180 Gen 2.
Nothing fell off.
No, the 180 Gen 2 doesn't use the same piston as the 181. The 181 uses a thicker piston. So it's less likely to break the piston than the 180 Gen 2.
It's less likely to, break parts and have things fall off. So,
well, nothing's impossible, but I think like that 181 never broke its piston, and it went through 10,000 rounds, never broke its piston. And the two common things with the 180s have been bolts breaking and pistons breaking. So if we can figure out how to avoid those, we're good. That's one of the things that that BCL used the 2-3 part piston system. I don't think it'll break those, but they have to fix those other things before they, make it good. Or someone else has to start using the SVT40 or AR180B style piston systems so that they don't fucking break rods all the time.
Yeah. Tony comments on episode 463. Listening back, question to John: is long gun PCC black badge available in other regions in Canada yet? So far, no news for Alberta, and I highly doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
Then he comments on episode 424. Mistakes we wish we never made. He's saying, I think the lack of knowledge of Canadian shooting sports is a big contributing factor for me not getting an RPAL, and likely many others too. In terms of shooting ranges, all I knew was there was the Calgary Shooting Center and the Shooting Edge, both of them indoor ranges, which seems a bit boring over time and quite expensive. Then I learned about the APRA outdoor ranges, a wide variety of shooting sports from the CCFR Canada Downrange Series, action shooting, long-range precision shooting, clay shooting. That was 2 years into my shooting journey, which was already too late. If you have family members or friends who are into the shooting sports, that is a great shortcut into the sports. But if you started from scratch, the amount of available information is still lacking, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. Mentorship is good, and I mean you need mentors in shooting.
Yep.
Like people that tell you what's going on and where stuff is and who to talk to and what stores are good and what ranges are good.
Yeah.
Take you out shooting, show you how to shoot, tell you about maple seed, all those things.
Well, unfortunately, it's like a lot of things. Once you're in that environment, yeah, you hear about a whole lot. But otherwise, if you're not in there, you don't hear.
No.
Tony comments on episode 435. Man, don't think I will ever get a chance to attend a match directed by Kyle. Sounds like a lot of fun. Talking about the Shotgun Mania match. And, well, don't say never. I mean, come down to New Mexico. I'm starting to do some matches down here. Like, November, come down. I'm match directing a match. And then our lovely Gersan testing and review. And Earthquake Magoon says, nice shotgun, just have to break it in. And
I didn't read that beforehand. I just commented knowing that it was going to be in there.
Yeah. And then Tony is commenting on episode 415. I enjoy marching around the range with my PCC or standing on deck at shoulder arms, which is 100% in accordance with our range rules. Some shooters still freak out about it, and as IPSC is still very much a pistol-only sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, yeah. Thank you, Tony, for all the feedback. And, yeah, that's it for the YouTube comments.
Awesome. Thanks, Hal. If you go to our website, you'll find a Cabela's link, and if you use that link to make a purchase through Cabela's, it'll help support the show. And then once a month, we will read off all the stuff that gets bought. If you'd like to support the show, as what you can do so through Patreon and Player. If you'd like to email the show, we'll read your letter live. You can do so at slamfireradio@gmail.com. And for shoutouts, Adriel?
Oh, just thank you to the IITs and the shoot bosses that came out to the events we ran in Kananaskis. Makes it very easy, and Oh, and the range itself, like super set us up. So that was fantastic. And then we've got a couple of more super dedicated IATs coming out to the one in this weekend. It's gonna be good.
Kyle?
No, I don't have any this week.
Dave?
The folks who put on the Maple Seed last weekend, Kelly, Greg, and I want to say Kyle for the other guy. Like I said, met him once. I don't know, something, whoever the hell you are. If you turn out to be useful and they meet you more times, I'll remember your name. So there you go.
Wow.
Bolivar for being a good guy sitting next to me, although he pelted me with brass all day. But good guy anyway. Hungry also. Barney also dropped by and said hi. And thanks to Blue Ridge Sportsman Club for hosting the match. It's a nice range.
Okay. And for me, thanks again to our guests. It was great having them on. And that's that.
I should one more thing. I should also
Sure.
say Zan, who came out to the range and shot photos and brought muffins as well, which were awesome.
Yeah.
I saw some
Muffins are always welcome. Join us on our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Play Europe. Join the CCFR. Very, very important. And see you all next week. Good night, Kelly.
Good night, Kelly.
Later.
See you next week.